To go. Conference play starts this Saturday night at UNLV, 7:30. Coach, I know you've talked a lot about what happened over the weekend, but how are you hoping to start this week with your team? What is the focus?
Well, the focus is, it's a brand new season starting this week. We're 0-0 in the conference. We got to start off by going on the road against a UNLV team that we had a close game with a year ago. And our guys realized the first 4 games at this point really don't matter, other than it prepared us to get into the conference play. And we saw, going back to Saturday, at times we can play really, really well in all 3 phases. But we've got to be consistent. You got to play 60 minutes of football. You can't let balls get thrown over your head. You got to play technique, and you got to fit the run. And we didn't do that on Saturday, and we have to fix it.
You talked after the game about how much it hurt, but you also said that it showed this team what it's capable of, and I hear you talking about the consistency that is missing, that you need if you're going to be what you're capable of. So what in your mind is this team capable of as you start an 8-game conference schedule?
Well, I think we're capable to play against a team like Tulsa, who I think is an outstanding football team, and have them on the ropes. We're a team that can be very explosive on offense. The first 7 series, they don't score on offense. I mean, we can, be a team that gets after people running and throwing, but you got to be consistent and, give Tulsa credit. That system they run with the tempo they run it at, when they expose an issue, it's hard for our guys, and you start to get in that panic mode of, hey, someone didn't fit the right gap, and then you stop trusting, and you don't fit right. And they kept us on our heels, and they were able to make some plays. And when you get that and you play the speed that they do, then things happen, like when they ran by one of our safeties on, I think it was the first or second touchdown. We're playing a base coverage. That should never happen. But, again, you get lined up late, and, those things happen.
First question for Coach. Tim, how would you compare Fresno State's talent with the talent of the other teams in Mountain West at this point?
I think we're as talented as most teams in this league. I think we've got very good skill. I think we're a young football team. Some of our best players are redshirt sophomores right now. Our quarterback's a redshirt freshman. I thought he really grew up on Saturday. But on the defensive side, we're probably a little thin on the defensive line. But on the back end, the linebackers and back end, I think we're comparable with most teams in our league.
And in regards to Chase, how much would you say he was able to progress from Saturday's game?
Well, compared to a week before, he made great strides. I thought he did a much better job in deciding when to pull the ball and made some really good plays with his feet. The 4th down play where they blitz him and he pulls it and scores. Those things take time to feel comfortable doing it. And I think the more he does those types of things, the more comfortable he'll be. I thought he threw the deep ball very, very well the other day. He had some pressure in his face. He still has to do a better job of staying in the pocket and deciding, at the right times when to get out. A couple times he got out of the pocket and we, had it protected pretty well. But those are things that he's learning and he's getting better at.
And how much confidence can the team take from a performance like Saturday? Or does that loss kind of remove that?
Well, certainly, the number one goal is to win that game, and we didn't accomplish that. But I think our guys saw, we knew we were playing a good Tulsa team. They beat San Jose State 42-10. They beat a 1AA team, very, very badly. We knew, it was going to be a challenge, and yet we had them on the ropes in the first half. Now we got to finish, and we let them back in the game by giving up some big plays. And those are things that you've got to learn from and understand that if you don't do that, you win that football game, then you really progress. But the fact that we were able to do what we did in that, first half, and then even when we lost the lead in the second half, to fight back and take the lead again with a couple minutes left in the game, I thought showed great resolve. There was not discouragement. Same thing when we turned the ball over in the first overtime. A lot of teams kind of mail it in at that point, knowing that all they got to do is kick a field goal. But, we finally fit some runs better. We got off blocks and made them kick a long field goal. So I think there's a lot of things to be encouraged by as a coach, but we've got to be more consistent to win a game like that. Well, I think what you always have to worry about as a coach, well, going back to your first question, sorry. I think there was two reasons. I think our guys were embarrassed from the week before our performance, and knew that coming home, playing in front of our home crowd, we had to play better and play inspired defense. We had a really good week of practice. And yes, we did do more physical things in practice. To go to your second question, why didn't we do that earlier? You've always got to measure, can you afford to get a guy injured during a week of practice versus developing the team? And so you hope that during training camp you're figuring out who those guys are that can play for you at the level you need them to play to win. But sometimes you get into this season and guys aren't developed well enough to be able to go out and play confidently and fast. And so we made the decision last week that at the risk of maybe getting someone hurt, we had to go more live. And we're going to continue to do that. I think our guys handled it really well. We made improvements, and we need to make the same kind of improvements now that we're in the league.
Jason, his completion percentage, right around 50%. I mean, is that just an obvious thing where the offense is being more efficient? Was he improving? Did he more of the kind of the passes that are, his offense is designed around?
No doubt. There's a couple of things. His completion percentage, we expect our quarterbacks to be over 60%. So he's got to get there. But some of the balls he threw away, it was covered, and he had to, he made a good decision not trying to throw a ball in. So, he's got to be more accurate. There was a few balls that he threw a little high. He's going to continue to improve.
That's how this offense is based around, the kind of high percentage completion.
Well, yeah, on the RPO that we run, absolutely. They got to be accurate throws, so that his completion percentage should be up. But we're not throwing a ton of bubbles right now, but we do at times.
Coach, kind of on that same thing you were just talking about, his completion percentage. It looked like there were a few passes on drag routes and crossing routes that I couldn't tell if maybe he just put too much on it or if they were inaccurate. The receivers were going off hands, including the interception at the same time before it went off the receiver. Was that an inaccurate pass, or does he need to put more touch on it?
It's a little of both. Our receivers, we expect them, if the ball hits them in the hands, to make the play. Now, as a quarterback, you can put it in better spots to make it more, an easier catch. When you run full speed and the ball's up in here, sure, you get your hands on it, but, it's much more difficult. And, it's a process, and Jason's got to be in there in the live situations, making those throws. We know he's capable of it, but it's different from practice to a game. And, we dropped a few passes on Saturday. We've got to get better there too. So, combination, you can't just say he's throwing bad balls, and you can't just say a receiver's dropping. It's usually a combination.
Coach, what's the state of the team, obviously, after a tough defeat against DeRuyter, and you're about being at home? Kind of the sense of what you feel in the locker room, and how does the coaching staff kind of work towards them and try to get them through?
I think our guys have great resolve. I think we have really good leadership on this team. I think the reaction from Saturday was great disappointment, but not discouragement. You can see when a team's hanging its head and doesn't believe. Our team believed up until the final whistle, and sometimes you don't make enough plays, and sometimes you got to give credit that their kids made some plays. But our guys knew, when we play what we're capable to, we can compete with anybody in this conference. We truly believe that, and I think our guys know that. Hey, those 4 games, as the preseason. Really doesn't matter in our league, and our league's our number one goal. So our guys are excited to go 1-0 this week. Last week doesn't matter. It's all about this week.
Tim, with Jason, when he's keeping the ball in the option, I noticed he slid a handful of times on Saturday. Is that what you guys are asking him to do?
Yeah, we want to protect him. When you have a running quarterback, it's great to pull it. You saw the plays that he's capable of making, but if your quarterback is taking a bunch of shots, he's not going to throw it. That completion percentage is going to go down. Not just the risk, not to mention the risk of getting injured. So we want him to get what he can, get down, and live to fight another down.
Is that how tricky do you think that is for him to?
Well, I think it's a learning process. The same way everything else is. We're not going to go live against him in practice and get him hurt. So he's got to learn it as he does it on the field. And I think he's gotten better each game. He's got to do a better job picking up his feet at times. I mean, he had some plays that were out there that he either cut off his inside leg or he got his feet, caught up. But he'll get better at that. And, I think he showed the coaches, his teammates, and the fans that he's got a chance to be a heck of a quarterback. That deep ball he threw to Jameer was perfect. And he stood in there and got hit underneath the lips as he's throwing it. The one to Keyshawn the same way. I mean, he's got a lot of ability, which is what we like about him. And the thing I like about him, too, is he's getting better each week. And he's not getting fazed by, maybe our team's lack of success. He wants to keep leading.
You talked a lot the first kind of month about, like, believe me, this is a different team than last year. You're talking about the kind of resolve that you saw in you guys. Is that kind of the biggest example of that?
Well, I think so. Like I mentioned late in the game, when they take the lead after us having the lead, a year ago, I don't know if we would have had the mental fortitude to fight back and regain the lead. We went on I think a 60 or whatever yard drive where we had to make a fourth down play, and we made it. A tough throw and catch that Keyshawn made. And then at the end, I think that was the touchdown where we ran the speed option and Jason scored. I mean, those are the things we can do in a pressure situation that maybe a year ago we couldn't do.
UNLV, what's kind of the general scouting report on that?
Well, they run the ball very, very well. It's starting to look more and more like the Nebraska offense from a few years ago when Coach Cotton was there. I forget the quarterback's name, Martinez. Is it Adrian? Taylor Martinez. He was the quarterback there. They're a quarterback run team and then play action off of it. And they've got a really big quarterback in Stanton who was at Nebraska for 2 years, transferred to Saddleback Junior College a year ago, and they signed him. And he's a 6'2", 245-pound guy out of Southern California, very physical runner. And they've got a little scat back who played against us last year as a true freshman. He's had some very explosive plays. Kind of reminds me a little of DeJounte, size-wise and cutting ability, but may have more top-end speed. I mean, he takes a lot to the house. Defensively, Kent Bear's their defensive coordinator, and Kent's been coordinating for about 30 years. Been at some great places. You can see he's putting his signature on that defense. They're hard-nosed. They really play physically, and we know it's going to be a challenge. They went toe-to-toe with UCLA. They're in the second year of their program, so they're trying to get some momentum going, and they're close. Just can't happen this week against us.
So they have that playing UCLA tough this past week, and they lose in overtime to Idaho. Is it fair to say this is a team that you guys can beat, should beat?
We look at every game like we've got an opportunity to win. We don't look at any game that you don't have an opportunity to win. We never say we should win. I mean, it's just we got to go out and play. You look at their team, and a week ago or over the weekend they lost a game that they thought they were going to win. If you look at the stat sheet, they had 500 whatever yards of offense to 300, but they had 2 turnovers, and Idaho didn't turn the ball over. And really was the difference in the ball game. Went into overtime, and they kick a field goal, and Idaho scores a touchdown. College football, there's not any, this team should win. This team shouldn't win. You look at all those 1AA teams that shouldn't have won, the first couple weeks of the season. North Dakota State wasn't supposed to beat Iowa. I mean, but it happens in college football.
You mentioned Stanton's running ability and Thomas. They both went over 100 yards in the loss to Idaho. They also have Charles Williams, local kid from Bullard High, who had 30 yards in that game and showed promise. And you guys are toward the bottom of the country in rushing yards given up so far. Is that because of who you played? Is there something that should give people hope that a team that's struggling against the run is playing a team that's dominant with the run?
Well, I think it's a little bit of a factor of who we played. I think we played 3 outstanding offenses that run the ball very, very well. I think Nebraska's run the ball well against everybody they've played. Same with Toledo and same with Tulsa. So, yeah, that's a factor. But more than that, we've got to fit things better. We got to get off blocks better, play our technique better. and we got to coach better. And we're going out this week to do just that.
With DeJounte, he showed a lot of promise on those kick returns late, but then he went out. What can you tell us about his status?
We'll find out more today. He's got to see the doctors today, and so I don't have an update just yet.
And,
He did not practice yesterday.
Right. His old teammate on the other side, Charles Williams, I'm sure you'll be asked about it all week. People want to know why he isn't a Bulldog if he's playing as a freshman at UNLV, and you guys now are short on running backs because of all the injuries.
Well, yeah, I mean, the way blueprints work, you only have so many scholarships. We signed 3, running backs a year ago, and we like Charles Williams a lot. I think he's a terrific player, but just because you like a player doesn't mean you have a scholarship spot for him. And you get caught in a numbers game. And I'm happy for him that he got a Division I scholarship. He's going to do good things, but we've got 5 or 6 running backs on scholarship. We couldn't sign another one.
But speaking of, chance we might see Oglesby in this game?
We're hoping so. He's been practicing with us last couple of weeks. He's getting close to being full. So, especially considering what happens with DeJounte, we could see Bryson.
Coach, college football obviously is what have you done for me lately business. How much pressure do you feel and does the team feel to really show good well in these 2 games before you come home against that big San Diego State so the crowd is more full than it was this past Saturday?
All our guys can control is what we can do this week. We don't worry about the big picture because there's just too much to worry about. What we can control is how we prepare and how we play Saturday. If we prepare this week like we did a week ago and we play, how we played at times last week, I think the scoreboard will take care of itself, and I think our fans will see, hey, this is a team that's playing inspired football. And, then we worry about the next week, but, you can't worry about 3 weeks from now.
You said your players are very mentally tough. Have they done a good job so far of blocking out negative comments that might come their way?
We talk about it all the time with them. It's probably more difficult today, with all the social media, with all the focus on college football than it's ever been. And that's why we talk about it. But I think, we've got a team that believes in the old adage, tough times don't last, tough people do. And we're getting really good leadership from our seniors, from our captains in particular. We've got some guys that know and have a vision of what we can be, and you just got to put all those negative voices to the side. And we were really, really close Saturday. I think we're going to have a breakthrough moment at one point and be ready to take off. A year ago, everyone was saying the same kind of things about San Diego State. They were 1-3 going into conference. Everybody was doubting Coach Long, but he knew he had a pretty good football team. And they go on to win 10 games in a row, and now they're in the top 25. I'm not saying we're going to do that, but we're in that exact same position. When something good happens to our team and we find a way to break through this thing, our guys are ready to explode, and I think we will.
Did you think you had that breakthrough moment on the first play from scrimmage? Went so wrong and went right?
You saying we didn't script that bounce pass?
I haven't seen you rep that in practice.
Okay. Yeah, sometimes you got to catch breaks, and you call a double play, running a pass option off of it, and sometimes you don't execute it perfectly, and the running back runs into the quarterback. It was nice to see a good thing happen, but I think it goes to show the explosiveness of a player like Jameer. We got a great block outside. I think it was Keyshawn on that one, or Aaron, was it you or Keyshawn? I can't remember now. Okay, I thought so, but you were here. But got a great block there, and he takes it to the house. Those kind of things as a coach give you excitement that, hey, we just got to play some good defense. We got some players on offense. They're starting to get in a rhythm. They're starting to feel good about each other, and we can make some explosive plays. Same thing with that long pass a few series later. He just ran by everybody. It was a great call by Coach Keesaw, and got the coverage we wanted. And a week ago, Chase didn't make the throw. Saturday he did, and I think the more he plays, the more comfortable he'll get, and we'll continue to see guys be open and him like that.
On the surface, people see explosive plays like that, and they say, okay, well, if you get the ball with a minute and 9 seconds left in a tie ball game, why aren't you trying to score? Was it the penalty plus what Tulsa was doing defensively that made you decide not to try to put points on the board at the end of regulation?
Well, we would have liked to, but we were out of timeouts. Tulsa, I think, had 2 or 3 at the time. Right, and we were backed up. So you go through the math in your head about, and I told Coach Keesai, I said, hey, look, let's run the ball or run a draw here. We get a first down, we need to get going. But being backed up, percentage-wise, you got to play smart. You know, if they stop you a couple plays, use their timeouts and make you punt and get the ball at midfield, now they only have to kick a field goal. So, you know, we talked about it, but we made a calculated decision based on our field position. We're up at the 30, we're full go.
How does a tough loss, you can say from an emotional standpoint on Saturday, like prepare the team emotionally and mentally for conference play?
You know, I don't know how it prepares you emotionally because it you know, it rips your guts out. You know, you play as hard as you possibly can play. We made a bunch of plays, we made a bunch of mistakes, and so you got to learn from the mistakes. You got to take the good things that you did and try to, you know, store it in your memory so that you can recall it when you need to go back to that place to, you know, make plays. But emotionally, I think it just maybe gives you a little bit more drive that we got to practice harder. We saw the gains we made a week ago. We got to go out and do the same thing this week in practice. And you know, I'm confident if we have a great week of practice, you know, we'll have a different result on Saturday.
Tim, you were talking about talking to the players about how to block out the negativity and how to be difficult with social media. How about for you? How difficult is it for you to block that stuff out?
I don't look at blogs or read the paper, so no offense, you know, Fresno B, but it's part of the business, and I get it. And one of the things I love about being here is that people care. People want to win. I don't want to be at a place where people don't care. And so when you don't have success, you're going to hear about it. And I expect that. But I want people to know this team's got a chance. This team's got resolve, and just hang out. You'll see it. You'll see a team that's, I mean, this close to being able to explode. So you just have faith in what you do, have faith in the coaches around you, and the most important thing is have faith in these players.
So even if you're not reading much, you can sense a frustration.
Oh yeah, I mean it's I've been doing this for a long time. I understand the business. When you see a great coach like Coach Miles go 2-2 and they let him go, there was another head coach in Florida that got let go. Defensive coordinator at Notre Dame got let go. I mean, we understand that, you know, what this business is about. There's a lot of pressure, but you can either focus on that or focus on things you have control over. And so we choose to focus the things that we have control over. And you understand that there's that, you know, pressure out there that people want to win and want to see it succeed. And when you don't, they're frustrated just like we are. But you don't dwell on it.
You touched on this a little while ago when you guys were talking about the UNLV's run versus your rush defense. Last week it seemed like the defense started out pretty strong. What was it, in your opinion, that became an issue in the middle of the game? Was it execution? Was it not adjusting? What happened?
No, it was execution. They were running the same plays.
Yeah.
You know, they were running the same plays. What happens, though, when you're running at that pace, when somebody misfits a run, it can create doubt for the other guys around it. Now they're right back up on the ball and running either the same play or, you know, a different play. You're trying to figure out and process what happened, what was wrong in the last play, and now maybe somebody says, hey, maybe I was supposed to be in that gap. And now they create a gap where there wasn't supposed to be a gap. You know, we spent yesterday at practice going through all the run fits and gap fits that we misfit on Saturday, that we fit very well at the end of the game, when we fit very well at the beginning of the game. You know, I think it, you know, likely has something to do with the pace that they go at, and you have to give them credit for that strategy. I mean, it's kind of proven it's done that to a lot of teams.
Looking at UNLV, you were there a couple of years ago and lost an overtime game. Coach Houck's last season. You got Coach Sanchez's team here by 3 last year in an entertaining game with that rainstorm in the fourth quarter and all those fun things to remember. Do you see a different team physically compared to the previous coaching regime at UNLV? Do you see some progress being made there?
I don't know that they're a different team physically. I thought they had some talent. You know, with Coach Houck, you know, the year before his last year, they took them to a bowl game, you know, which they hadn't done in a long, long time. You know, I think Coach Sanchez and his staff are doing a really good job. You know, they've got those guys playing very, very hard. And you know, when a new staff comes in, that connection with the players to get them to play at their top level is very, very important. I think they're getting that. But they're a little bit like us in that they're young in their system. They've got some young talent, like Charles Williams and like Thomas, that as they get seasoned, they're going to be terrific football players. They're good football players now, but they're searching a little bit because they've got some talent, but they haven't had the success. So they're a little bit like us in a lot of ways.
Well, I guess he saw a similarity too. I don't know if you saw his quote. He said, "We're two bad football teams trying to become decent." Would you word that a little differently?
Yeah, I'd probably word it a little bit differently.
How would you say it? How would you evaluate this game with where these two teams are? Because I'm sure you both believe you can get to a bowl game this year.
Oh, absolutely. Right now in the first 4 weeks, we played 3 football games at times decent, and 1 football game we played horribly. I look at what UNLV's done. They took care of business against 1AA and looked really impressive. Played very tough against UCLA. Had a lead at Central Michigan, which is a really good football team, and then had an outing kind of like what we did against Toledo. They didn't play well against Idaho. I mean, it happens. And so, yeah, there's a lot of similarities, I think, between the teams when you look at a results standpoint as well as just, the young players on both sides of the ball. So I think it sets up for a, pretty, similar matchup, and we'll see who out-executes who on Saturday.
All right, let's let Coach DeRuyter go at this time, and we'll bring up Aaron Peck.
Thank you. So that's Coach Tim DeRuyter. His Bulldogs open conference play. Hit the reset button, and it starts from here at conference. 2 road games before the first conference home game against San Diego State on Friday night, October the 14th. That's your next chance to catch the Dogs at home. The game Saturday in Las Vegas will kick off at 7:30. Bulldogs' last trip there was an overtime loss, 30-27, 2 years ago. In fact, they haven't won in Las Vegas in a long, long time. Those 2 bowl games there as well. Aaron Peck, senior wideout, sitting down at the podium now. Aaron, for you and your teammates to go through that roller coaster of 4 quarters and 2 overtimes on Saturday, how would you describe what that was like?
It's difficult. It's frustrating, I mean, like you said, in the first half, everything was great. Had a big lead, and we slowly watched that lead decrease. And then they took the lead in the fourth. We battled with them back and forth. But, I mean, in overtime, they got us. So, I mean, it was frustrating. It was disappointing. I mean, yeah, so that's pretty much it.
You had to play in overtime. It ended up that they missed the field goal on their possession, so we got to the second overtime. Right?
Yeah.
But what happened on that play from your perspective?
I mean, Chasen threw me a slant, and whoever it was that hit me, the safety, the linebacker, he hit me pretty good. His helmet hit the ball in my hand, jarred the ball loose, and the refs called it a catch fumble. So I mean, I should have did a better job protecting the ball, but it's one of those unfortunate plays.
Well, you had a lot of time to check the ball there, didn't you?
Man.
Coach talked about your guys' resolve. Where does that come from? What are you guys playing for?
Pride, man. I mean, we do all this training year round to come out here and show that we're a good team. We fight, and I mean, I still think we have that chip on our shoulder from last year, 3-9, just not wanting to experience that again. So I think a lot of what we play for is pride, and of course, I mean, we want to win games and win the championship and all that stuff. But I think at the end of the day, guys are really playing for pride.
You were shook up on that play as well that Paul was just talking about.
Yeah.
How you feeling physically today?
Beat up, but I'm good though. I mean, it's a football game. That was probably one of the more physical games that I've had. But I mean, it is what it is. Get treatment, go out to practice tomorrow. So.
What was the attitude in the locker room at halftime? I mean, you guys go up to a 31-0 lead, and then you can kind of sense at halftime Tulsa's really starting to pick things up.
Yeah.
They scored a couple times. Was there concern in the locker room that this team was waking up?
No, I mean, on the offensive side, well, we knew that Tulsa was high-powered offense. We knew we'd have to score points. I think the first thing Coach said was we're going to have to put up more than 50. And so that's where our mind was. We were just focused on, how we're going to continue to score, how we keep the pressure on them. But I don't think there was any, nervous feeling or a feeling of, oh, well, Tulsa came to play now. I think we were just fine.
Aaron, was practice a
I think this past week we had a really good week. Like
What made it different in a good way?
I don't know. I think just DeRuyter harping on, you know, preparation is key to playing well on Saturday. I think guys really took that to heart and just stepped up their level of play. We did more like live drills, more like actual tackling and situational stuff, just to get us more prepared for the game. But I think guys just took DeRuyter's message to heart and just went out and practiced harder.
So it was a little bit of a reaction to what happened in Toledo and practicing a little harder.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anything else?
Coach talked about Chasen, said he really grew up in that game. What did you see from him in those 4 quarters and 2 overtimes against Tulsa that maybe seemed different from what you'd seen before?
Confidence, if anything, like Coach was saying, he was standing back there taking hits, but still delivering good balls. Just more confidence, more trust in our preparation, coming off a good week. Just trusting Coach, trusting the wideouts that will make a play for him. It's a whole process, he's still young, redshirt freshman, 5 games into the season, but I think as we continue to roll, you'll continue to see those good things from him. So.
Aaron, as you guys get set to start conference play, there are 3 undefeated teams in the conference: Boise State, San Diego State, and Air Force. Nobody else has a winning record. Is this a winnable conference, and what's it going to take for you guys to be the team that wins it?
It's definitely a winnable conference. Everybody's 0-0 in conference. It's going to take more good weeks of preparation, more of the guys buying into the system, buying into what DeRuyter says, what our Coach Ward and Coach Keesaw say, loving each other, just playing hard. It's a long season. We still got 8 weeks or whatever left in the regular season. So nothing's determined yet. We just got to keep working, and we'll be fine.
Coach DeRuyter said he doesn't read the paper or the blogs.
Mm-hmm.
What about you? How much outside noise do you hear?
I don't read the paper much. Like on Twitter, I follow Fresno Beat, so I'll see like the topic of an article, but I don't really get too much into it.
So last week's big article before the game was about your head coach and how long he's going to be the head coach, even with a photo of him looking at his watch on that front page. Does that give you guys something more to play for? Like you're feeling like you're playing for him at a different level?
Wow, I didn't know all that.
Sorry for being the bearer of that.
I don't know. Sorry. I don't know. We play. How do I say this? We respond to what our coach has to say, and I don't really think guys particularly are playing to keep his job or whatever, But we play hard. We know that Coach loves us. Coach takes care of us. We know that, he has our backs, and so we go out and play hard every week, knowing that they have our back, all the coaches, and knowing that whatever happens, they're there for us, and like I said, it's trust, it's trust and love, and when you come here out of high school, like you leave your parents to come here with these coaches, and you depend on them to take care of you. So, and I was DeRuyter's first class, so just having him these 5 years, it's been great. So, like I said, it's not necessarily we're playing to keep his job, but we know he takes care of us, so we play hard.
Aaron, the next time you guys will play here at Bulldog Stadium will be a couple weeks. Your next 2 games in conference start out on the road.
Yeah.
In Nevada. I know as a player it's always 1 week at a time, but what kind of opportunity do you have in these next couple weeks to really kind of change the attitude publicly about this team before you guys come back?
Just go out and win 2 road games, 2 conference road games. 2 very winnable games, we feel like. Of course, UNLV and Nevada, 2 teams that, we lost. Well, we beat UNLV last year in the final seconds, lost to Nevada last year, a tough one. At the end of the day, you just got to win. Everybody's happy when you win. So hopefully we come back home 3-3, ready to win another home game against San Diego State.
You had one of the best games of your career in Reno 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Bulldogs win thing, but first you got to go to Vegas. What do you see when you look at UNLV?
I haven't watched much film yet. I know in previous years, myself, I haven't played great against them. 2014 and 2013 was the Devontae and Burst show. But I feel like we have a strong core wideouts, and with Chase and developing, I feel like we can go out as long as we execute, we can perform well against any DB core.
Last question? No? Thank you, Aaron.
Aaron Peck, senior wideout, he and the Bulldogs determined to start 1-0 in conference play when they head to Vegas, kick things off Saturday night. 7:30